5 minutes dedicated to Aizer stats. What could be better? Let's find out what we're talking about on Fantasy Football Today in 5. All right, Heath, here we go. I got 3. I don't really think they're Aizer stats, but they're just fun stats. Not too much manipulation here. But first one, and I talk about this a lot, every wide receiver who I don't talk about this one a lot. Sorry. This is the touchdown one, not the catch one. Every wide receiver who has finished top 12 in PPR in the last 5 seasons was on a team that threw at least 20 touchdown passes. Okay, whatever. That's not a lot. But 2/3 of these 60 wide receivers were on teams that threw 28 or more touchdown passes. When you hear that, are there any wide receivers that you think might be ranked in the top 12 that could be on a team that doesn't throw 28 touchdowns, that maybe is like low 20s touchdowns being a concern for those wide receivers?
Oh, okay. I thought this was going to be a Kenny Golladay segment. Yeah, I mean, it depends. If Taysom Hill wins the starting job, then that would be one that I would certainly consider. If the Bears decide that Justin Fields isn't ever ready this year, and if that by sitting him all year, he'll turn him into Patrick Mahomes, that could be a problem for Allen Robinson. Those are the 2 that stand up.
Okay, because I was wondering if maybe Justin Jefferson. I think Cousins will get to. It's 28 per 16 games. So let's just call it 29 or 30. I think Cousins will get there. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's not a huge touchdown guy. So I don't know if that mattered for McLaurin at all.
He's not been a huge touchdown guy at times, but really, like, you look, last year he was on pace for basically 25. Well, really, because some of those were partial games, so probably even more than that.
Started 17 games for the Dolphins in the last 2 seasons, and he was on pace for 26 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He threw for 26 touchdowns in those 17 games.
Right.
Yeah, he was on pace for 17 games. All right, moving on. Tom Brady in his last 7 games, number 3 quarterback per game, 5,100 yards, 46 touchdowns, nearly 38 pass attempts per game, 8.5 yards per attempt. Antonio Brown played in all those games. Holy cow, he was incredible.
That's the thing. And like, maybe the problem is that I've downgraded the pass catchers because there's too many mouths to feed. And what I should have done is just rank Tom Brady as a top 3 quarterback. I just can't do it. So like that's why in my bust column, you'll see both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, because I don't think there's enough targets to make them top 15 wide receivers. But if Tom Brady could be that good, then it probably wouldn't matter.
And final Aizer stat. This is pretty Aizery. If you just look at the 7 healthy games, not including week 17, and not including I think week 3 or 4, week 4, 7 healthy games that Austin Eckler played with Justin Herbert. So that means no week 1 with Tyrod Taylor. His pace, his 16-game pace, was 105 catches, just under 1,800 total yards, and only 4 touchdowns. And with that 4 touchdown pace, he still would have been the number 5 running back per game in full PPR and the number 12 running back per game in non-PPR. Just some more touchdown luck. If Eckler can do something close to that, wow, he's going to be special and definitely worthy of a first-round pick.
And part of that comes back to what we've talked about with Herbert and the likely regression, because they're not going to run that many plays again. And we've given a similar stat, I think, for Keenan Allen in the healthy games that he played with Justin Herbert. He basically was the best wide receiver in football, or number 2. That's going to come back a little bit, but I do think Eckler's a good value in the first round, and I would rather draft Austin Eckler than Saquon Barkley.
Okay. If you want to hear more about why Heath would rather draft Eckler than Barkley, check out the full-length Monday, July 5th episode of Fantasy Football Today. We'll come back tomorrow with some projections on FFT in 5.